Jesus Christ be praised.
What are you doing here, Goodman?
What does it look like? I'm handing out wine from my vineyard.
You're giving it away for free?
My vineyard is new, and the folks in this town are damn stubborn. So I figured I'd pour a cask or two into them, and maybe they'd get a taste for it. What about your good self? Would you like to try it?
Free wine? I'd be a fool to say no to that.
My thoughts exactly, Goodman. Here you are. To your health. I'm curious what you'll think of it.
I have to say, I didn't expect that. You're right, it has a real bite to it.
Forgive me, Goodman, but say no more. In vino veritas, and the truth in my wine is that I'm a fool, an idiot whose wife is cuckolding him, whose children can't stand him, and even the dog pisses in his boots every morning. And my wine tastes like dog piss as well. I never should have bought that damned vineyard. If it wasn't for those fucking monks selling their wine everywhere they can, I might have a chance. Not like this.
Is there anything I could do to help you?
With the dog pissing in my boots? Well, I'm not sure. I tried sticking his snout in it, putting pepper in my boots, and nothing worked. Piss in my boots again the next morning.
I meant your business troubles.
Oh, I see. Maybe you could. If you're not from around here, that is.
No, I'm not.
Allow me to introduce myself. Caspar Rudolph, vineyard owner and a not very successful wine seller.
I'm Henry.
Maybe you could help me, Henry. I'm looking for someone who's not well known in Kuttenberg. Someone who can pretend to be someone else, if you know what I mean.
Sure, why not? If all you need is someone folk won't recognize.
The monks in Setlet's monastery make excellent wine. They call it the monastery secret. People can't get enough of it, and I can't figure out what their secret is. But I intend to find out.
A secret? Well, just the job for me. I'm a bit of an expert when it comes to secrets hidden in monasteries.
The custodian of the monastery vineyard has a relative in town, an innkeeper called Havel. And this Havel is a real know-it-all when it comes to wine. He really likes to boast about it. If you were to pose as a sommelier who's just come back from abroad, I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you, and maybe he'll reveal something.
You want me to be smellier? I don't see how that could make a good impression on him.
Not smellier, sommelier. It's a wine expert. Just act intelligent and use some foreign words. It'll be easy. I have some books about wine at home. Maybe you could read through them. You do know how to read, right? Havel's a bit thick anyway, so it won't be hard to impress him.
The book might come in handy. Can I borrow it?
When I said I have it, that wasn't, entirely accurate.
Just so we're clear, I don't want to steal anything.
That won't be necessary. The book belongs to me, but I lent it to someone, and she hasn't given it back yet. Miss Adleta Mannlicher should have it. I lent it to her during our, let's call it our friendship, which has come to an end.
Didn't you say you're married?
What has that to do with anything?
Oh, I'm sure your wife wouldn't mind if you asked an old girlfriend to return a book you lent her.
Oh dear. Adleta used to have rather more friends than might be expected of a respectable young woman. But her family's patience ran out, so they arranged her marriage and put an end to her dalliances. Since then, Adleta has been confined to her room and guarded like the crown jewels.
And you want me to break in?
Well, yes. Master Swordsmith Mannlicher has a house in Lethlilskar Street. Adleta is either locked in her room or walks in the gardens behind the Italian court, where she is guarded by her brother. The Mannlichers don't want any more problems.
It doesn't matter. I'll find a way to get the book back.
Great! Any more questions?
Do you really think Havel would just tell me the secret? You don't even know if he actually knows it. Or it might just be a rumor.
Havel really is a bit thick. Either the monks have a secret and Havel will tell you, or there's no secret and Havel will confirm it.
I'll get right on it then.
Excellent. And don't forget, making an impression is the main thing. You look like you can handle it. Good luck.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to go into the gardens. Why are you on guard here?
I'm afraid my sister is resting in the gardens and doesn't wish to be disturbed.
That's a very fine sword you have, Goodman.
And so it should be. It was made by my father, a master swordsmith.
Well, you can tell it's perfectly balanced at first glance. I may not be able to see the blade, but the way the hilt is fitted is clearly the work of a master craftsman.
It seems you know your stuff, good man.
I'm an apprentice swordsmith.
For someone from Kuttenberg? I'm surprised I haven't seen you before.
No, my master is Martin Menschy from Prague. We're just traveling north. My master wants to deliver a piece in person.
You don't say. Master Menschy is in Kuttenberg? Do you think I could talk to him? I admire his work, and so does my father.
Of course. Come to the Hangman's Halter Tavern. My master will be pleased to have company.
Thanks. If you want to enter the gardens, go ahead. Just keep away from my sister. My father has forbidden her to speak to men.
Don't worry. I'll give you my word as a swordsmith. Are you Miss Adletta?
That's me. And what is your name, you handsome fellow?
Henry.
A nice name. But I have to warn you, I won't be a miss for much longer. Seeing you here makes me regret that a little, though.
The pleasure's all mine. I'm here on behalf of Caspar Rudolph. It's about the book he lent you.
Caspar? Oh, the poor thing got a proper hiding from my father. How is he?
His vineyards aren't bringing in much, and he's generally not doing too well. That's why I'm here, in fact. Bushek's book may not be the most precious manuscript in the world, but it'll help Caspar.
When we were friends, he gifted me that book. There was no mention of it being on loan, and now he wants it back all of a sudden?
What if we became friends, and you gave me the book?
You're taking a big risk, good man. My father could have your tongue cut out for that kind of talk. He's not too keen on my friends.
That doesn't bother me.
But it's not that easy to become a friend of mine. First, you need to impress me somehow.
I could write a poem for you.
Love poetry. I have to warn you that my taste is rather refined.
One stolen glance, tender and true, captured my heart, beholden to you. Your beauty and grace, like flowers in spring, as the rising sun, you make the birds sing.
That wasn't bad, good man. You have talent. You deserve a reward.
How about a kiss?
Here, now? In broad daylight?
Why not? We're alone here.
That's what you think. I don't want to make my family angry. And it would be a pity if you came to harm as well.
So you don't want...
If the circumstances were different, who knows? But your charming courtship has made me happy.
I'd like to take Caspar's book now.
Of course. That's what you came for, isn't it?
I have the book, so I'll be off.
Farewell, Henry. Never forget me.
Pavel, the owner of the local inn, I assume?
That I am. How can I help you?
When I asked where I should go in this city for good wine, your inn was recommended.
You've come to the right place. You won't find better wine in this city. Have you come from far away?
Very far, Goodman. I'm Henry, and I rarely hear my name spoken in my native tongue.
Mine has an unusual ingredient in it. Let's see if you can tell what it is.
I did a lot of travelling in Italy, from north to south.
Wonderful. It's not often I get the chance to talk to someone so well-traveled. It'd be nice to have someone to discuss the drink of kings with.
An invitation I can't refuse. Thank you.
Well, good man, how shall we begin our tasting? Ah, I know. How about a little white to begin with?
Excellent.
So, what do you say to that?
Hints of vanilla. That's uncommon. And I have to say, that greenish spring color is perfect.
You're right. A rare flavor and color tone. It's essentially a lighter wine. I like it because it's suitable for many occasions. When I don't know what to serve, I pull out a Moravian white. My father-in-law loves it. He'll be a blessed 70 years old this year, so I'm giving him a few casks to make his old age a little merrier.
That's very kind of you.
There's nothing but misers in this town. They wouldn't think twice about taking their own mother's last piece of bread. I'm not like that. Do I have money? Of course. But I don't hoard it. I try to make people around me happy.
And you're treating me to this wine. You're a real Samaritan, like it says in the Bible. You give drink to the thirsty.
Anyway, let's have a cup of something else.
My thoughts exactly.
What shall we... Ah, I know. Let's have some red. How about a young Blaufränkisch from Austria? Or as we call it in Bohemia, Blue Frankovka.
From you, Goodman, anything. Pour away.
Quite a decent vintage.
A bit bitter for my tastes. But you said it's a young Blaufränkisch. I'm getting notes of black currant. The colour is dark, almost purple, but as it should be.
Yes, the color enchants me every time. Almost like drinking from an inkwell.
Oh, I've never drunk ink. Would you recommend it?
My grandfather used to say, you won't know till you've tried it. He lived and died by that saying.
Uh-huh. What happened to him?
Well, the poor fella suffered from ulcers. So one day, true to his favorite saying, he tried drinking spirits to cure himself. Burn the canker, he said. Well, he burnt it so thoroughly, he was dead in a week. God rest his soul.
To your grandfather, and his contribution to advancing the knowledge of medicine.
Tell me, good man, what's regarded in your country as the most prized Italian wine?
Sangiovese. Jupiter's blood.
But that's the type of grape. I mean the type of wine. I surely don't have to tell you the grape variety is only half the taste.
Well, it's hard to come up with something off the top of my head, but I do enjoy this variety.
Ah, well, never mind. Let's carry on. Well then, let's move on to the next one. After all that quality stuff, let's refresh ourselves with something simpler. Would you like a hippocras?
Certainly. The better ones will go straight to our heads, and I'll admit, I do like it from time to time.
Nothing to be ashamed of. It's not easy to make a good hippocras. Mine has an unusual ingredient in it. Let's see if you can tell what it is.
Very nice. I'd say it's mint?
Precisely. It gives a nice freshness, wouldn't you say? And there's a garden full of it right behind the tavern. I don't know where to put it all.
But it's missing some kick. I reckon your cook forgot to add something. Ginger. It's missing ginger.
But of course. The cook told me they didn't have any at the market. You have a refined tongue, good man. I'll give you that. After that hippocras, we should have something more high class. I've got a rare Hungarian wine from Eger. Very strong and very sweet.
Bring it on. This is no time for weak wine.
My thoughts exactly. So what do you think? Good, isn't it?
Very good and very red. Besides that, it has a sort of raised taste at the end of the tongue.
Raised taste? What do you mean?
It's hard to explain, but it really is very red.
As anyone can see at first glance. What will you tell me next? That the sky is blue?
And isn't it?
I drank this particular wine from Egger at a banquet held to celebrate the new city council. Hungarian government, Hungarian wine, and Hungarian delicacies. I was so looking forward to enjoying some nice Hungarian sausages or pate, but I ended up leaving disappointed.
How so?
They started bringing out melons, apples, plums, and all sorts of other fruit. And finally, they served fish. I don't eat fish, and fruit makes me burp. So I went hungry at a feast.
Well, that's very unusual. Fruit, fish, and red wine. Maybe it's some sort of Hungarian custom.
I was so disappointed that I wanted to make myself something at home to get rid of the taste. But I was so drunk that I fell asleep. The housekeeper woke me up, and what can I tell you? The porridge was charcoal. The kitchen was like a smokehouse, and I had egg on my face. Well, that's Hungary checked off the list. What's next?
How about something local? I noticed there were vineyards in Kuttenberg.
But of course, we have vineyards and grapes from Burgundy that Emperor Charles himself had brought in. The local vintners grow some fine grapes, but they're still learning everything that comes after that. The local stuff gets diluted a lot. They flavor it with all sorts of shit, or leave it for vinegar.
Don't tell me you don't have a drop of anything local that would be worth trying.
Well, there's the monastery secret. A wine from the Sedlets Monastery. My cousin Jerome is the custodian of the monastery vineyard.
Ah. Why is it called secret?
Taste it, and you'll see.
Interesting. There's no trace of any flavour that shouldn't be there. Neither honey nor spices. Just the pure taste of wine. But there is something to it. Something I don't recognise.
That's it, good man.
Is that the secret?
Exactly. The monks add a secret ingredient to the wine.
A secret ingredient? How do you know that?
Like I said, my cousin Jerome is the custodian of the monastery vineyard, and I handle their supply. Sometimes I bring food for the workers, new barrels, tools and the like. And from time to time, I bring them a sealed crate which smells peculiar. Jerome didn't want to tell me what's in it, but when I insisted, he told me it's some kind of incense they burn in the barrels.
Really? I've never heard of such a thing.
Neither have I. But like I said, the chest was sealed and the whole thing is shrouded in secrecy.
A real monastery secret. What should we drink next?
I'm glad you like my wine. But that's enough tasting for today. After all, I've offered you everything worth trying, and now the wine is starting to go to my head. But you're welcome to stay in my tavern as long as you like. I have to say, I really enjoyed our chat. It's rare to meet someone who really understands wine.
I enjoyed your company a lot too. Nevertheless, I won't keep you, Goodman, and I'll bid you farewell.
Farewell, and if you decide to extend your stay in Kuttenberg, stop by for a drink again.
Definitely. God be with you.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I spoke to Havel.
And? How did it go?
Good. I had to drink a bit of wine to get some answers out of him, but I sacrificed myself for the cause.
And what did he say?
It took a while, but in the end, he told me sometimes crates of a special incense are brought to the vineyard, and they apparently burn it in the barrels.
What? Incense? And he wasn't just yanking your pizzle or too drunk?
He may have been drunk, but he was telling the truth. He doesn't know what incense it is, just that they get it delivered.
Right, and here's a small reward so you don't go around saying old Casper's ungrateful. But now I need you to look into it further. We need to find out what this special incense is for. We'll have to take a look in the vineyard and take some of that incense.
We, meaning me, right?
Of course I mean you. See how well we understand each other?
I'll do it, but I want more coin. It's a risky thing to do. What's more, it's the monastery's vineyard, and I don't want to end up on the wrong side of the church.
All right, I'll give you more, but I want you to know you're bleeding me dry as is.
I'm the one likely to actually bleed. Now tell me where to look. The vineyard is pretty big.
It's big, true. But there's a vineyard house right in the middle. The custodian lives there, as well as the workers. And it's also where all the supplies are stored. Besides, there's also a side garden where they grow new varieties of grapes. If you could manage to bring me a few seedlings, they could greatly help my own vineyard.
Where exactly is the vineyard?
A short way to the north of town. It's pretty large, you can't miss it.
How do I get in? Isn't it guarded?
The simplest thing would be to get hired as a laborer. There'll be lots of work there now that it's summer.
What if they catch me?
You have to be careful. The vineyard is closely guarded, especially at night, and thieves are punished very severely. Don't get caught.
I'm on it then.
Good luck, and take care, Henry. By the way, what about the business with the Manlikas? Did you manage to get hold of the book by Bouchek?
Yes, Miss Adletter is sweet. And she even gave me back your book. Here it is.
Ah, thanks very much. I'll try to sell it and pay off at least some of my debts.
Are you hiring?
Us? Always. But don't be fooled. It's hard work. Days spent bent over in the sun. It's not for everybody. But you'll get a few groschen, something to eat, and a place to lay your head.
That sounds good.
I'll tell you tomorrow. For now, go and speak to the custodian, Jerome. He'll tell you what to do. Any questions?
What's the master custodian like?
Jerome? He's my cousin, and he gave me this job. Can't complain about him.
And the others?
I don't know, but I've never heard any complaints. You'll see for yourself soon enough.
I'll be going then.
All right, run along. Jerome will be waiting near the winery. And remember, wine is liquid gold, so we keep everything well guarded.
Don't worry. I don't steal.
I have to say that because we do get light-fingered individuals here from time to time. And now you know everything, off you go to work.
I'm supposed to report to you. I'm new here.
Excellent. Another young shoot ready to sprout and produce the delicious fruits of labor.
Right. The shoot. That's me.
Forgive me, young man. I'm always pleased by the presence of someone who enjoys working.
That's great. In any case, I was sent to ask what you want me to do.
You'll start today. Because why wait? There are a few hours left before the velvet blanket of night covers our vineyard.
Of course. I'll get to work then.
Excellent. What enthusiasm! What vigor! As our youngest laborer, you will be in charge of the eternal battle against the weeds that choke our beautiful plants. As soon as you spot one, imagine you're King David and uproot that evil from our land forever, just as he uprooted the Philistines from Israel.
If you hand me a slingshot, I can take on Goliath.
We hand out slingshots in autumn when we have trouble with starlings. Apart from that, you'll sometimes see a sack at the end of a row. In it are clippings and bad plants which you will take to the dung heap behind the winery here. where their earthly existence ends in the process known as decay.
All right. That doesn't sound too complicated. Weeding and organizing a funeral for some plants.
To tell the truth, lad, work in the vineyard isn't complicated, but it is hard. I therefore suggest you don the vintner's crown, a straw hat. Do you have any other questions?
What's in this building here?
This is the winery, lad. It's the heart of the vineyard. Of course, the grapes must ripen in the vineyard and are harvested there. But here in the winery they are sorted, pressed, and poured into barrels. As soon as we put the wine in barrels, it travels to the cool and dark monastery cellars, where it ages.
I'll get to it then.
May God bless your work. On you go, lad.
This crate smells like sulfur. This could be it.
Good evening, what do you need?
I'm back, and I've got the mysterious monastery incense. It looks like wood chips soaked in sulfur. It stinks a bit.
They were smoking barrels with this. Sulfur is the stink of hell, and this is a monastery vineyard.
Maybe there's another reason. The miners in Skalitz used to say where there's sulfur, it's easier to breathe. Healthier air.
But it stinks to high hell.
So do many noble delicacies, and they're still delicious.
I suppose you're right. I'll give it a try. I hope it doesn't make my wine reek. Here's your reward. I added a bit more, as we agreed.
I almost forgot. I have the seedlings.
Ah! I'm curious what they'll grow into. You've made me doubly happy, Henry. So, here's a little something on top for you. Well, see you...